It contains all of your different identities or persona. For example, um, sometimes I feel lazy and would not like to get up, but there are also times that I am productive, that I do multitasking, and even though it feels so opposite to my real personality, it doesn't mean that it's not me, because unified self refers to the composite persona that gathers all the personas that exist within a person's interacting style.
I am Francis Gimnada. I am presenting the true self versus false self. The true self is a true sense of a self-based, authentic experience and the feeling of being truly present alive. Example, the beliefs in the true self affects people in judgments about what actions give life meaning. Like a person might hard work at their job so that the person have a good salary and they succeed, but also the importance of their family part of the true self. The false self is a defensive facade behind which the person can feel empathy, its behaviors being learned and controlled rather than spontaneous and genuine. The example of false self is a self-based around certain that we take care in order to fit into our words better. I am handsome. I will more likable. If I have a lot money, I am successful. And the other example is denied or hide feelings to someone. The rest of the false self is a good parenting, not in the place. Maybe because the mother is anxious or depressed, the infant's spontaneity is in danger of being suppressed that need compliance with the parents' wishes. The false self continuum. Different degrees of responsive mothering determine true and false self-development. There was a very varying levels of falseness, from healthy to unhealthy. A healthy false self enables to be polite and comply with the rules and regulations, even when don't know want to. Indeed, Winnicott asserts that a healthy false self is necessary and desirable for us to exist in the world. Thank you.
Today, we're going to talk about the self as proactive and agenda. What does proactive really mean? So, when you hear the word proactive, what might come in your mind first? Is it about mindset or anything else? So, here's the relation of that word. Proactive, controlling or creating a situation by causing something to happen rather than responding to it after it happened. Proactive people don't blame anyone or anything. Proactive people's behavior is a target of their conscious choice based on their values. Proactive people are still influenced by external stimulus. They are sponges of value-based choice. I hope you learn that being productive can really improve our outlook on life and can develop as a person. Proactive people always keep learning and developing themselves, no matter at what age they are and how busy they are. They are acquiring new skills while always their priorities. If you are proactive, you make things happen instead of waiting for them to happen to you. And second, agentic. What does agentic really mean? It is described as individuals' power to control his or her own goals, actions, and destiny. Agentic learning is defined by self-developed actions aimed at personal growth and development based on self-choosing goals. Agentic, it comes from the word agency, which dictionary defines a capacity, conditions, or state of acting or exerting power. Albert Bandura says, Albert Bandura, a psychologist, says that humans have the ability to act. They are able to produce experiences on their own. The agent that drives the experience, the experiences are the following: intentionality, forethought, self-reactiveness, and lastly self-reflectiveness. So we need so the definition of intentionality refers to act done intentionally. Example example of intentionality is when you saw a trash while walking and then you pick it up and you put in the trash can. That's the example of intentionality. Forethought, thinking or planning out in advance. Example, if there's a person who invites you to take some illegal drug, do you think it's good? So you should think twice and know the consequences before you do it. And that's the example of forethought. Self-reactiveness, making choices and choosing efficient choices as well as motivating and regulating them. Example, if I have this schoolwork like recording or what else, I should finish this before the due date in order to my parents and my teachers will be happy. So that's the example of self-reactiveness. And lastly, self-reflectiveness gives the individual the ability to think about and evaluate his or her own thoughts and behavior. Example, if you have a homework, you should do it at your home, not in school. Yeah, if you can't pay the teacher, there's a chance that you won't be able to pass your for the next time. Since you didn't pass your homework, you should do it at your home. So you should evaluate yourself ourselves in order to realize, realize. That's how. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Ryan Katamgo Jr. and today I'll discuss about yourself and the real self. So, your real self is who you actually are, while your ideal self is the person you want to be. The ideal self is an idealized version of yourself created out what you may have learned from your life experience, the demands of society, and what you admire in your role models. So, real self is is who we actually are. It is how we think, how we feel, how we look, and the real self can be seen by others, but also we have no truly knowing how others view us. The real self is our self-image. So real self is a qualities you believe you actually possess, while ideal self is the characteristic and qualities you like to have. An ideal self is more about interest and your wishes, the way you like to see yourself. And ideal self is an idealized version of yourself, created of what you learn from life, experience, the demands of society, and what you have admired in your role models. So, in short, yourself is who you actually are, while your ideal self is the person you want to be. That's all. Thank you.
Good day everyone, I'm Charles Amarji and today I will bring the report about real self and ideas. So this is Karen Horn. Karen Horn, she is the psychoanalyst who speaks from Friends, where she emphasizes culture, self-realization, interpersonal relationship, and the need for safety in her theories. And even though, or maybe because her theories are already 70s and 80s, and have stood the test of time, the insights they provide are still incredible and interesting. So, Karen distinguish between three versions of self: the real self, actual self, and ideal self. So today we'll talk about real self and ideal self. So what is real self? So real self is who is actually are. It is how we think, how we feel, look, and act. It can seem by others, but because we have no way of truly knowing how others view us, the real self is our self. And so the real self, it as the central inner force of God, the source of values, conscience, vitality. All in all, it was the possible self. It contained all your temperament, your talents, your capacities, your interests, everything that you could actualize in your life. While ideal self is what you should be, is how we want and is how we want to be. So ideal self, on the other hand, is the self that we think we want to be, that we strive to be, and that we feel we are expected to be. So other self is also is how we want to be. It is an idealized image that we have developed over time. Based on what we have learned and experienced, the ideal self could include components of what our parents have taught us, what we admire in others, what our society promotes, and what we think is in our best interest. So that's all. Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm John Dominic Sunabe from Group 5, and today I'm going to talk about global versus differentiation models. So what is global? Global refers to the general value that a person places on himself or herself. And differentiated self refers to your ability to separate your own feelings and thoughts from others. So there are 10 differentiated models of self. First is self-consciousness. So what is self-consciousness? Self-consciousness is a heightened sense of self-awareness. And self-multiple is someone's role is not stop being her or him, his or her responsibilities and sense of self. And self as looking glass is other people serve as mirror which we can see ourselves. Or people develop a sense of who they are and what they think of themselves by watching the reaction of the people in their primary group, as well as those they meet through their lives. And we see ourselves through the eyes of the other people, even though the existence of incorporation their views of us into our wrong self-concept. Mostly, teenagers are strongly influenced by their peers and will go beyond conforming to changing their self-image too much. So what is self as structure? The self as that which can be an object to itself is essential, a social structure, and it arises as social experience. And self as flower is the self in this view is like a flower, potentially growing into full bloom. And self as self-created is man is nothing else but what he makes of himself, rejecting any traditional essentials idea of human nature. Sartre adds, in other words, there is freedom to clarify you are nothing less than your life, combining all your projects, actions, and choices. The self, in his view, is not an iceberg, nor a passive reflection, nor a flower that may grow. It is what we make it, but it's somewhat atomistic. And self as onion is, this model is indicated by the phrase hidden depths. It reflects the notion that one may not really know someone, just the Goffmanesque presentation of the different selves acting in different roles and circumstances, which may be camouflage and masks. And self as identity is, our self-concept is our identity. It is the concept you develop about yourself that evolves over the course of your life. This may include the aspects of your life that you have no control over, such as where you grew up, the color of your skin, as well as choices you make in life, such as how you spend your time and what you believe. And self as unicorn. It is a party unknown, even unknowable, because it is so belong, consciousness, and in progress. And self as chameleon. Chameleon because it is multiple, mutable, adaptable, and selective in presentation. These selves may be complementary, contradictory, or conflicted.